Hi, so today we're going to be talking about PRD, that's Product Requirement Document. So you might be a startup and you are planning on building an app, or you are building one, and probably you've heard about you need a product requirement document. So what is this thing, right? So product requirement documents contains all the information you need when you want to build your app. So there are other documents you might need, but this is one that stays with you for a very long time, because anybody you bring into your startup, they have to see the PRD, they have to see what the company is about, what product they are building, and different other things to help them fast track their processes in the startup. So I'm going to go through each and every one of these things, and I'm going to explain what they are, and I'm going to use an example. We're going to be using Uber, right? A car hailing service, so that we would understand how to implement. Because one thing is to have the template, and another thing is to know how to implement it. Also, I'm going to be dropping down a link to have this template yourself, and you'll be able to use it and build with your company. So now let's get to the first thing. So the first thing is overview. As you're seeing here, overview contain product name, business name, the dates that the app process is going to start, even if it's going to be research. Very important. Beta launch. So before your app goes public, that's what we call beta launch. So you launch it to a certain, to your wait list, or a certain number of persons. Then you have the launch date itself, like the day you're going to release it. So you don't have to fill almost everything immediately, because there's some certain things you may not know, right? So, and you might have other things like in progress, under review, approved. Yeah, these are very important. And you have people, so you can easily add people to um, your document, so that they can either review it, you can send them the links directly. So it all depends on what you want to do. Then this is where you add the kind of devices that this platform will be built on. Is it going to be built on mobile? Is it going to be on web? Wherever this platform is going to be built. So you have to put, then this is short description. So this such description is very important. Sorry for my words. The short product description is important, right? Because this allows you to explain what is this product in a short way, right? Yeah, so you're going to impute this. Then we have goals and focus. Why I like this is for continuity, right? So this one is going to come later on, where you have your Q1, what are your goals, focus. So it can be as elaborate as this, it can be lengthy. It all depends on what information that you are putting here, and this is going to be depending on the product manager. If you are the product manager of your company, fine. If you are the CEO and you feel like this is what you want to do yourself, no problem. Then you now go to the main thing, the problem, right? When building your product, what problem is your app solving, right? What is the customer segment that you are facing? What problem do they have, right? Because in every app that is being developed is actually solving a problem to a particular number of persons. So you have to state it here in your PRD document. Then the solution, obvious, the solution to the problem. This is where you describe how your product or services addresses these key problems. So you state them here. It can be lengthy, it can be short. Like I said, a continuous process. Then you have your competitor analysis. So some persons have more advanced competitor analysis, right? But this is more like a brief analysis. You can still make it more, complex, right? Or you can have it in a different doc and link it here. So note, you are not the only one who will be seeing this. Your team and everyone in the startup would have access to this, right? So you'd have you need to make sure everything is easily or well arranged in order for them to access the right information. So if it's the key items you want to list here, you would list it. Don't worry, we are going to go here to explain it. So you have your target audience and the rest. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't go too far down, I'm going to start from overview, and I'm going to go to Uber and explain the whole thing. So let's start with the overview. So with Uber, as you can see here, we have the name of the company, or the product, sorry, which is Uber. We have Uber Technologies. They started 2009, I think, and the beta launch I just put launch day empty because they've actually launched, right? Then in progress, the company is still in progress, right? Either under review. This is meant for whoever it needs. So if you are a product manager and you need to send this to your stakeholders, right? They can see it's in progress. And Uber, the device that it was built on, is mobile and web at the same time. Yeah, and the short description is Uber is an on-demand cab hailing service that connects passengers with nearby drivers through mobile app. You get the whole 5 years of Uber, right? So now let's try goals and focus. So as you can see, right, I just made it very simple. Goals and focus for January QA, expand into new markets. It can be more elaborate, right? There can be a document that explains this. A link can be added to here. So one thing I like about Google Docs is it's very, it can be used for by so many persons at the same time, and it's very easy to use, so you can insert things. And the good thing again is you can actually drag or rearrange things. Let's go back to the overview. Take for example, now I want status to go over here. You can actually simply do that, right? And you can simply go back there. So it's very important to also know how to. So if you know how to use Google Docs, kudos. So February, right? They could say, okay, improve driver experience, optimize pricing and revenue. You get. So it all depends on your company. Like I said, this particular goal and focus, it's a continuous progress. So this goal and focus can also be at your startup stage. So depending on the stage where you are currently in your company, right? So the next one is the problem. So now Uber's problem, because we've already dealt with what problem is here. So Uber's original problem was difficult finding users find it difficult to find rides and affordable transportation. That year, safety concerns in taxis. Taxis were popular at that time, and they replaced the whole taxi system. Then lack of transparency in pricing, you get, and inconvenience of cash transactions, right? So Uber came and solved this problem. So now solutions: an app that connects riders with nearby drivers real time, GPS, upfront pricing, seamless cash payment, and trust me, there are lots more other solutions Uber did, right? But this is just a snippet for you to understand how the template works. And another good thing I would want to mention is once you have this template, right? If you want to have it for yourself, all you just have to do is come here and make copy. So when you click on make a copy, you have a copy of this template. Yeah. So let's get to the next thing. Competitor analysis. So this is where I think I stopped in the other side. Competitor analysis. So now if you look at the competitor analysis here, so this is you, which is Uber, right? If you check here, you have ride availability, pricing. So if I was a fintech, right, like I'm currently managing a fintech company, so I can put here pricing. I can say this table here can be pricing. This whole table can just be pricing. Then I can have conversion. I can have withdrawals. I can have this. This is just pricing competition. I can now come down here. I can duplicate this. I can copy this, right? And come here, paste. You get. So it depends on, this is very, very dynamic. You can use it anyhow you want to use it, right? So, but for Uber, I just left it for these prices. You can see it was dynamic, and you can use this to see why you are better than your competitor and what you can improve than. So competition is very nice, so that this helps you keep yourself upfront, and you are always alert, right? um yeah, so this is about competition analysis or competitor analysis. Yeah, remember, you can have this in a whole different doc. You get. So the next one is target audience. So now, if you check target audience here, you can see you have your name, age, and so many other things. So we're going to look here. Look at this. So you can keep a consistent size. I think this size was around, I don't think you can check for properties here. Okay, no. but this was a very small size, so you can shrink it, you can increase it, but I'll just leave it at a smaller size. So now let's say this is an amateur, and an amateur is your target audience, right? For both, a busy professional frequently travels for work and needs reliable, efficient transportation to meetings and airports. So this is a key target audience for both, right? Age 35, New York, MBA, has money to spend, right? So interest, time efficiency, this person, they are always busy, right? Married, the goal, reliable and premium rides for business meetings on time, in a comfortable ride and a good looking ride as well. Then wants and needs, fast booking, premium rides, expensive, expense tracking, so you can track your expenses and the rest. So frustration, delays, inconsistent. So this is a target audience, and you can have numerous ones, so you can just copy, right? If I hit enter, I can have another one. So I can have audience one, audience two. So like I said, it depends on you, right? You have this to yourself. So the next important thing is use case. So use case, if you check here, you can see this is where you narrate how the user goes through the app with a goal in mind. So use case varies depending on companies, right? So if we check on Uber, we can have one use case as a user, I want to book a ride quickly to reach my destination on time. That's one use case, right? Another one is you can separate it. You can say, okay, driver use case. You can say riders use case, depending on how many users your app has, right? So you can have this, right? You can have, as a corporate employee, I want to schedule rides for my business meetings to ensure timely arrivals. So depending. So take for example now, a fintech. So, say for example, now I'm a fintech company that distributes APIs. Take for example now the likes of Mercury that distributes APIs to different companies. They can have a use case of fintech. So let's check. Let me do this. Mercury. So let's go to Mercury Bank and let's check their use case. Okay, so I could not find it in Mercury, but I think I found one in Fincra. So now, if you go down to Fincra, you can see use cases. So use cases can be in this way. So like this, they supply APIs, but you might ask, okay, how do you use this, or how, or who is this thing for, right? You can see that they said, okay, it's for betting, right? You can use the platform, allow online, okay, allow online bets and make payouts, right? So now you understand that these companies support betting APIs, they support e-commerce, they support logistics. So this is for fintech, right? But for both, their own is user. So depending on what you want to build, say for example, now you are building something like an HR software. So another example is Biz Edge. So if you come here, you can see who we serve, right? So now who we serve, you could see that they serve retail, restaurants, and they will explain how they serve this person. So this is using, so why I took my time to explain this is so that you understand how use cases are very, very important. This gives you much clarity. So another thing product another thing a PRD does for you is giving you enough enough clarity, sorry, to your product. Yeah. So the next one is user story. So user story is very important. So for use cases, yeah. Okay. So now for user story, we have, this is where you narrate how the users goes through the app with a goal in mind. So you have your beginning goal, your end goal, then your story. So it's almost like use case, but this time around you're now going into how the user flows through the app, right? So now a typical example is, let's use Uber as we are using. So we have an amateur, remember, from one of our audience. So now beginning goal, user opens the Uber app to book a ride, right? Then end goal, users arrive at the destination. So you can have this for driver. So if your app has different segments, right? So now you can see the story. The user opens the app and enters a destination. The app matches the user with a nearby driver, the driver. So with this, a UI person would start to get to understand the flow of the app and get to know, okay, oh, we need this screen, we need that screen, and every other thing. And you can attach the screen. So it's like I said, you can always add things to this. So for example, if you click the plus icon, you can add the UI screen to this. You can just call this UI slash UX and insert a link. I can just come here and say, okay, I want to insert a link. So you can use chips if you want, or place holders, or you can just come down to put link itself. So you can say, okay, let me just say tagging this to let's say the template. You can see that you can click here and it goes exactly to the link. So depending on what you want to do or your use case. So now user stories are very important. Like I think this is for persons building your app, they would always do a user story for you. So sometimes it's not, you may not go through all the processes, but some things are very important. So now the next thing is key features and flows. So this place can be as elaborate as it can be. So as for an empty template, if you check here, this is how it's going to be. So I just kept a sample here so that you could see what it looks like. So now you can start simple, you can start complex. It all depends because you may not have all the information at the same time, right? So if you come here, you can see here installation, right? The installation may not be a feature, but this is from Google Play Store because this is not you, or Apple Play Store, depending on where the app is. So now download and install the app. That is a flow. So this is now, you're now going flow by flow, like you taking the hand of your users and walking them through in your app. So you're going to see something like, next thing is onboarding. So now onboarding, you can put your user signs up or sign in. You get, there's onboarding, there is sign in. This can be splash screen. So I just did a very simple thing, but if I was to go deep into this, I would explain onboarding here. Onboarding can be splash screen where there is an option to sign in or sign out, right? And this is going to be email, phone number. So I just generalize this, you get, but you can do this for simple processes, right? So if you have the technical knowledge, fine. But if you don't have, you can always contact someone who can do this. You can also reach out to us, right? So but if you have someone, that's not bad, right? Then you have ride booking, destination, and the requirement. This is for devs, so you may not be able to fill this. Devs will come in and tell you, okay, for these particular places, this is what we require. So most devs may not have this in details in writing, but most professionals already know what to do. But if you are building a startup, you can have this thing detailed down. So whoever is coming into the company knows what, right? Then you have payments and every other thing that would come. So the features keep going. And as you can see, you can add as many as you want because this is a dock. It can expand as much as you want it to expand. So now the next thing is technical requirements. So let's see what technical requirement is. So now this is list any technical requirement, integration, or capability of your app. So such as programming languages, frameworks, so key tech stack. Are you using Figma? What programming languages are you using? Swift, Kotlin for Android, React for web, or are you using you are merging both of them together, right? So where you have Android and iOS build with Flutter. So depending on what you are building, it has to be stated here so that everybody knows, so that there's no like, it's not like, okay, what are we building or what are we using to build our platform? And when someone asks and you'll be like, oh, I don't, especially the product managers. So the best thing is you have it documented so that you can always go back here, right? So database, APIs, and if you don't know, you can always ask the dev. You can ask your mobile dev, your website developers. They will tell you and you can list them here. So now we now go to budgets. So budgets, you have registration. I just kept this very simple, right? You can keep breaking this down. There are lots of marketing on its own has a lot of budget. You can have a link to marketing budget. So this could not just only be the price, it could be the price and the link, right? This is just going to be a summary, it could be a link to another document or another PDF explaining your pricing and budget. So one of the most important places, right? So as you can see, this is how I, did it, and you could see how we use this as an example. Then the other thing is assumptions and dependencies, right? So this is very, very important, especially for some certain companies. They neglect this. So assumptions are like list any assumptions or dependencies that may impact the development of your product, such as market condition, regulations, or availability of resources. Assumptions like users will be able to register to the platform. Let me give you an example with Uber, right? So we have assumption drivers will sign up to the app using the platform, right? That's an assumption. Yeah, we have to assume that, right? Users will trust online ride hailing service. You get the whole gist, right? So stable internet and GPS. So then dependency and compliance with local transport, reliable payments. This is very important. So in our product, our fintech product, this really helped us to know upfront the problem we are going to have, so that we either tackle it on front, and when it happens it's not like, oh, we did not know, right? So these are very, very important, and you can separate this. You can even separate dependencies and make sure these dependencies are being tracked. You can even put tracking progress and everything if you want. The thing I love about this is you can add things here. For example, now you can put status, you can put notes. So you can just even say, okay, I don't want this. I want only delete this column. I only just want this. Sorry. So you can put these notes, and you can even add, let's say, status. So it depends on what you want to do. Right, it all depends. So you can say, okay, oh, I want notes here, I want my dependencies, like, okay, we've tracked this, we've not tracked this, you get. So it's just gives you the ability to reconfigure the whole thing. So you know that you have this here, it is just your idea of how you reconfigure the whole template. That is why I choose to build this template on Google Docs, because it gives me the ability to change or do some certain things, right? So now I think that is more like the last one. So this disclaimer, you might find that you can delete it, right? So this is just, letting you know that, for some certain things, or some, we've had issues in the past. So yeah, you can read this stuff, you get. So PRD, in summary, it's very, very important. And for a startup, it's something that will still be with you till you move your startup to someone else, and you can now make this inbuilt. If you're not having an inbuilt management system, this would be very important for it. And if you are onboarding new staffs, this is also very important for them to see. It is very, very important. So like I said, recap, you can duplicate it, right? And if you need this service, if you want someone to build this for you from scratch, we can do this for you. All you just have to do is chat with us. You can check the link either below or in our bio, and like this, and you can subscribe to us so that other persons or product manager or stakeholders can, like you, would get to see this. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. And bye for now.